That's awesome. What's the best part of Turkish culture?
I'm gonna say food.
Do you have Turkish delights?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. In my room, actually.
Yeah? Awesome. So the food was like, what kind of food?
Yeah, I'm not a big like meat person. I'm more into like vegetables and like yogurt kind of like foods.
Okay.
And we have lots of different food in Turkey that you can try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, you're into vegetables and yogurts, but Turkey, if you had to think of
kebab and doner,
right?
a lot of meats going on. Yeah.
Okay, so like what are some foods that I would never have heard of? Like what are some Turkish foods that I wouldn't know that you're like, oh yeah, we have this all the time?
You know kidney beans, right?
Yep.
We have a Turkish style kidney beans. That's actually my favorite food.
Yeah.
It's called barbunya.
Okay.
Yeah. Like
Barbunya.
I'm thinking that you never heard it before.
No. Is it good? You like it? Yeah. What's
I love it.
So is it's not a kidney bean? It's
It's
version.
kidney beans, but it's like we're cooking it in a Turkish style.
Okay.
Yeah, with tomato sauce, and we're putting some yogurt on top if you want. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, that's interesting. I'll have to go check that out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the VoV podcast, Voices of Vic. Today I am here with third-year psychology specialist Melis Gudum. Thank you for doing this. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely. So you are a psychology specialist, but you also have 2 minors.
Yeah.
You just came back from a creative writing class.
Yeah.
Why also the 2 minors? Because can't you just take a specialist and that's it?
Actually, it's a funny story. First, I applied here as humanities students.
Yeah.
So I was in the literature department, and then I took the psychology 100 for my breadth requirement, and then I realized it's like so interesting for me, and then I switched faculties.
Yeah.
And then I'm in arts and science right now, but I just didn't want to drop my English and creative writing, so I'm just doing all of them.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Respect. What about psychology got you interested in that first class? Because they covered a lot of different aspects of psychology. I'm also not a specialist or major, but I'm in a psychology minor. So I also find it pretty interesting. But what piqued your interest?
For me, developmental psych was so interesting, like learning how our environment can influence our like developmental like abilities, or how that shape our character or personality traits. That was so interesting for me. So I just want to learn more and gain more information about how I become the person I am right now. Yep. So that was the...
Absolutely. So you're from Turkey.
Yeah.
You speak 3 languages.
Yeah.
You told me off camera right before you trying to learn to speak French as well, which is awesome. What made you decide to come to Canada for university?
First of all, education. I was applying German schools for universities, and then my counselor said you can apply to like better schools, you can try to go to Canada or US, and then I applied a bunch of schools like in US, and then only McGill and UofT. I got accepted both of them, but the scholarship made me like want to come here more. That was the
absolutely
reason.
So McGill, because McGill would be an English school. I was also considering McGill because you're learning French. I was doing French for the first basically until I came to UofT. I've been in a French school the whole time. So living in Quebec, if I were to go to McGill, would have been awesome. Decided to come here because, you know how I chose UofT? I literally just had a magazine that my mom gave me of like the best universities in Canada, and I saw UofT number 1. I didn't look into anything else, and it's been pretty good so far.
And overall, like in the world, it's
pretty good in the world too.
Top school,
yeah, absolutely. So let's start from the early days. Let's go all the way back. Let's go to Turkey. You were born there?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about that, because it's a unique experience, because most international students here, not from where you're from, either from China, USA, India, but you know the Eastern Europe, Turkey's Europe,
A little part of it,
Okay. So because it's on the west side. You have I was checking the map because I'm like, where is Turkey? And I wanted to make sure I knew. you got Bulgaria and Greece on the west side, and
we're
then
very close.
Yeah,
like with Greece.
100%.
Yeah.
And then you have like Syria, Iran, Iraq on the west, or like the south, or the east, sorry, in the south. So, what was it like growing up there?
Growing up I'm from Izmir. It's like a beautiful city. It's coastal. We have beaches that you can go swim. During the summer time, especially, it's like my favorite time of the year.
Yeah.
I really enjoy living there, growing up there, because we have like this family culture, which is very different from like Canada or US, I can say, because we're more family oriented minded people.
Yeah.
It's not like we're dependent to each other, but we enjoy our company and we like spend time as a family, travel together.
Yeah.
That also helped me like grow my mindset as like you should do whatever you want to do because there's a family like supporting you. That helped me a lot over the years to become the person I am.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's incredible. That's amazing. I wish that it sucks to hear that like this country doesn't have that same culture, you know what I mean? Because I myself also, like, I consider myself a very family oriented person. And I know what you mean when you say like not many people around here are like that. They would rather spend time with their friends that they make at school than go back and spend time with their siblings or their parents or that kind of thing. Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have a brother.
You have a brother?
Yeah.
Older or younger?
Younger.
Younger.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I have a younger brother too. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I wish we had a bit more of that. Like when you say they're more family oriented, when did you kind of realize here? Was it when you came here? Did you think that before that? Yeah, the U.S., the West is not as family oriented as us.
I mean, I realized it here while I was living in residence for my first year.
Yeah.
It was like so diverse, a lot of people coming from different parts of the world.
Yeah.
And I just realized, like, I was calling my mom almost every day. Like, we were talking, it's not that much, like maybe half an hour, 20 minutes, depends on the day, how busy I am. But like always, I'm calling my mom to like give her the details about my day, like what I did. But I realized not a lot of people are doing that here. They're like, I called my mom like 6 weeks ago. Like, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's so different.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so the family aspect is huge. Is religion bigger in Turkey than you've found it here, or is that not a big thing?
I don't know. I'm not really interested in religion, like generally.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not paying attention to that.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Because I was just thinking in terms of like other aspects of community that, like, I know that for a lot of people, church is something where everyone comes together and they, you know, enjoy each other's company. That, like, definitely is become less and less popular in Canada and in the USA over the past, you know, few decades. So, like, for me personally, I think that is some sort of aspect to it. It's not necessarily even the religion and like, do you believe in God or do you not? It's about just the community. Yeah.
I never experienced that like as a religious community.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know much about that.
That's fair. How did you get a bigger sense of community? Like, what are friendship relations like in Turkey? Like,
in Turkey?
How often do you hang out with friends?
Oh, I think friendship depends on the person. Like, everyone have their own definitions about friendship.
Yeah.
But personally, I love spending time with my friends. Like, especially I have my best friend Selin. Like, we were doing pretty much everything in high school, like together, the projects.
Yep.
Like, she was there for me. If I do something, achieve something, if I'm sad, like, I think that's the most important part, because in friendships, people are gonna be there for you. If you're like sad, they're gonna like validate you. But if you're really happy, you achieve something good like happen in your life, there is like less people being there like cheering for you. I think that's really important nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. That's interesting. This is an interesting thing for me, so I want to ask you more about like Turkey and the difference in cultures. But I feel that with social media now, a lot of places around the world are becoming almost more similar and straying away from their culture, because like the internet has in a way become some sort of global culture that everyone can kind of tune into. So I wonder, like, with that kind of thing, like, has social media played a part in I guess hurting community or hurting culture in Turkey like it has here, because people are a lot more on the phone and less wanting to have a conversation, for example.
Yeah, I think technology, like, it's improving every day, like, so fast, and it also has an effect on, like, teenage people, especially because they're so open to get, like, influenced by the technology and all, like, media platforms.
Yeah.
I can say it's pretty much the same, I think, all countries. You can see it in Turkey, here, like, people are becoming to look exactly the same, like, act exactly the same, do the same hobbies, like, trying to build the same circle of friends. Like, I'm not in that mindset.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the case.
That's interesting. What do you think is the right age for kids to start being on that stuff? Like, that's a good question to ask. And like, the high schools here, once again, could be same, could be different in Turkey, but like, how strict are, say, the schools in terms of like phones, or maybe even the parents of being like, because here, like, the 5-year-olds are on their iPads, like, doing this, you know what I mean? It's so sad to see. I don't know is that any different? Like, for you personally, even, like, what age do you think is appropriate?
Okay, I was a swimmer, like, a really long time, like 7 years.
I do have that written. I want to ask you about that for sure.
Like, while I was swimming, my parents gave me, like, this, how can I say, like, a little phone. Okay. You can just...
Like a flip phone?
Yeah, flip phone. You can just use it to call your parents, like, Mom, I'm done, can you pick me up from, like, the training and stuff. That was my first phone. Like, I think I get it at age, like, 9.
Yeah.
And for, like, social media, I think I get my Instagram when I moved here for university. Like,
really?
I wasn't into that stuff. And right now I'm just using it as, like, a diary. So it's, like, so cool to see what I've been doing, like, this all university years. Yeah. But other than that, I'm not a big fan of, like, giving little child's, like, children the phone so early, because it means, like, their childhood is, like, ending. Absolutely.
And there's no, like, unique, I guess, experience, because everyone has just kind of become like the robot, and they see this and their friend sees that, and everyone is kind of like they lost, it's culture that's being lost, you know what I mean?
There's no creativity, like they can't build games with each other. Like, I think it's so precious to play games when you're, like, a little child with your parents, your friends. It improves the I think creativity and also the social interaction skills. It's really important. Yeah, absolutely agree. And about that, another aspect of family that we can talk about in Canada and the US is that people are more and more hesitant of having children at all, or like big families even, of either they don't want to have a lot of kids or they don't want kids at all. Like, I don't know if you've heard of, there's a trend on social media of people who call themselves dinks. It stands for double income, no kids. So it's a couple, they get into a relationship, they like the fact that they can have, 2 people working and spending money and earning money, and they don't have the expenses of having a family. But I personally don't think that's the right way to go. You know what I mean? I think that, like you said, Turkey, absolutely, family culture is huge there. I was saying before, I can't think of anything more meaningful than, getting married and having kids. So is that at all an issue in Turkey? Like, do you guys see people, like, when couples date, or when people are in relationships, is it like people don't want to have kids? Because that's what it kind of is here. I think that's a tricky question, because, like, every person is different. Like, maybe a couple wants to have a children and another, like, they don't want to have a children. That's totally fine, I think. But in Turkey, I can say most of the people are willing to, like, have children, build families. It's more like culture. Like, if you have a family, like, people are seeing you, you achieved something in life, like, you did what you need to do. I'm personally thinking, like, I'm a family person. Yeah, I will definitely want to build a family, but I will respect other people who are not, like, choosing to do the same thing.
Yeah,
it's
that's
also another
interesting.
option.
Absolutely. And in normal times, because it makes sense, obviously, if I was in Turkey, I don't think that it would cross my mind of being like, oh, this couple doesn't want to have kids, like, no big deal, that's fine. Whereas here, the only reason I think about it so often is because it's like everyone is not wanting to have kids. That's when it becomes an issue, you know what I mean? Because you need 2 kids per family to even sustain the population. If not, you're going to go and tank.
Yeah.
And it's kind of scary.
Maybe economics is also like influencing the decision of the couples.
Yeah, 100%. It's getting more expensive to live, right?
Especially in Toronto, maybe.
Yeah, 100%. Do you live in residence or do you live off campus?
Right now, I'm, Campus 1. It's off campus, but it's really close, like 5 minutes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Okay. So you get it, how that can get a little bit pricey. But no, that's really awesome. Let's get into your swimming career.
Oh, okay.
So you're a do you still swim?
Yeah, but as a hobby, not like professional.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So for 7 years though, you did
professional swimming.
From what age to what?
I started really early, like 2, 3. My mom was taking me to swimming classes during the summer because I was so energetic as a child. I'm still so energetic person. So my mom told me that the best way to calm me down and make me happy was sending me to those courses. So that's how I started.
Yeah, 100%. They didn't just throw you into the Black Sea.
Yeah.
No?
Oh no, I started in the pool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I did pool swimming for I think 6 years.
Yeah.
And then I started open water.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw that one of the accomplishments that you kind of claimed was swimming 3 kilometers in open water.
Yeah.
What was that?
It was so cool. It was in Turkey. You know Çanakkale?
Nope.
It's a city in Turkey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I swam there for 3 kilometers, and it was a national race. It was not international, but I mean, I felt like I was accomplishing something I really wanted to. Yeah, I become second in Turkey. That's the
wow.
At that time, I was working so hard for that. So I was so happy to being able to accomplish my goal.
100%.
Yeah.
So, did you ever think of trying to go into the Olympics, represent Turkey?
I mean, as a young swimmer, of course, it's it was my dream, and Katie Ledecky was my idol at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but right now it's not that possible.
You could have been with that guy, the shooter, this.
Oh yeah, the Turkish shooter. Yeah.
You could have been on his team. You guys could have gone on the plane together over to France.
Yeah. But it's so hard in Turkey to manage both schoolwork and athletic. If you're doing it professional level, it's too hard. 2 trainings a day, and our school start at 8:39 and then finish at 4 p.m. It's just not manageable for me at that time.
No, that makes sense. And that's actually something that, once again, you can compare from culture to culture.
Yeah.
When I hear about kind of the educational systems of other countries, people tend to say that it's much more intense than Canada. Mm-hmm. And from what you're saying right now, I think it could be because maybe Canada and the US make school less intense so that kids can try to do extracurriculars more.
Yeah,
whereas you're saying it's either you better study your ass off or you're going all in with sports. It's not like you can try to manage both. Is that fair?
Yeah, 100%. I believe, especially Canada and US, I'm not sure about European countries that much, but they're giving you more opportunities to do both. Just continue your education and you can focus on what you really want to do. If it's swimming, other sports, or even music or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 languages.
Yeah.
You learn obviously Turkish first.
Yeah.
German second.
Yeah.
Okay, so how you start learning German? Germany's not too close to Turkey.
Yeah, but I was going to a German school since elementary school.
There are German schools in Turkey?
Yeah.
Interesting.
We have French schools and German schools, they're private, not public schools.
Yeah.
But you can learn language that way.
Awesome. Why'd you go into that?
My parents want me to learn another language because they said you can just learn English like after your.
Awesome. So did they pick German for you, or did you say I'm interested in German?
I was too little. Like they just sent me to a German school. I was going to elementary school.
It was elementary school.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then middle school, still German school. High school, still German high school. So I just learned.
Okay.
But I also took like Goethe Institute.
No.
It's like a German culture language course. Like you can go and take certificates.
Yeah.
And I went there for like improving my language, and I also want to like lecture. I want to be a teacher, so I took their certificate as well.
Nice. So was it Turkish kids in the German school mostly?
Yeah,
because it was in Turkey.
We had some like German people as well, just a little bit. But
okay.
Yeah, most Turkish people.
Mostly Turkish people. Is Turkey mostly Turkish? That sounds like a dumb question, but like with other countries around the world, you can see how diversity sometimes plays a role. Some countries are like, all of Romania is a lot of Romanians. Yeah. It's not like there's immigration a ton. Like, is Turkey the same, or is there like a lot of immigration?
In Turkey, we have immigration as well, but I can say it's mostly Turkish people.
Yeah.
But we have, of course, like a lot of people coming different places, but they're just learning Turkish culture, I think. I believe that Turkish culture is not so hard to learn. Yeah. Like you can just like get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the best part?
It's welcoming.
It's welcoming.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What's the best part of Turkish culture?
I'm gonna say food.
Do you have Turkish delights?
Yeah. Yeah. In my room, actually.
Yeah? Awesome. So the food was like, what kind of food?
Yeah, I'm not a big like meat person. I'm more into like vegetables and like yogurt kind of like foods.
Okay.
And we have lots of different food in Turkey that you can try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, you're into vegetables and yogurts, but Turkey, if you had to think of
kebab and doner,
right?
A lot of meats going on. Yeah.
Okay, so like what are some foods that I would never have heard of? Like what are some Turkish foods that I wouldn't know that you're like, oh yeah, we have this all the time?
You know kidney beans, right?
Yep.
We have a Turkish style kidney beans. That's actually my favorite food.
Yeah.
It's called barbunya.
Okay.
Yeah. Like
barbunya.
I'm thinking that you never heard it before.
No. Is it good? You like it? Yeah.
I love it.
So is it's not a kidney bean? It's version?
It's kidney beans, but it's like we're cooking it in a Turkish style.
Okay.
Yeah, with tomato sauce, and we're putting some yogurt on top if you want. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, that's interesting. I'll have to go check that out. Tourism in Turkey.
I think
if you had to give me an itinerary of like places to go?
I mean, I'm from Izmir. It's like the coastal side of Turkey. So I will say Çeşme. It's a part of Izmir. You can find like beautiful like beaches. You can just go there, spend your day, just swim, sunbathing, like delicious foods. I mean, we have a lot of options. We also have Bodrum, Marmaris, like different cities you can go as well. I like see a lot of people windsurfing in front of my home. Like it's really like popular in my hometown.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. I want to stay on this cultural aspect more because once again, a big criticism is that like Western countries, my country is losing its culture or it doesn't even have a culture to begin with. In Turkey, what are some things that like all Turkish people can kind of unify on? Like what are some things everyone has in common? Are there certain rituals? Like you said, food is a big aspect. Like what else about Turkish culture kind of unites people?
I think in general Turkish people are so like welcoming and like polite. If a guest coming our home, we will like give them like immediately the food. Like we're not even asking, are you hungry? We're just giving them food or like water, and then saying just stay a little bit. And then I think we're pretty good like hosts in like if we're planning something, we love like people coming over to our places. I can say it's common for Turkish people. We love like big tables, big dinners, lunch, like it can be anything. Like even breakfast, we love like hosting big breakfast events. Like every Sunday, my family does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so that's the, I guess, the positive way of asking the question. I can ask it in the opposite way too, though. Have you ever had experiences where like someone was, I guess, going against the culture where you're like, why are they doing that? That's not how we act. Like, that's not how Turkish people are, and it catches you off guard. Like, I can't think of exact examples, but like, I don't know if, like, crime is one thing. Like, how safe is Turkey? Maybe that's another good question.
That's a good question. Like, personally, I wouldn't stay out that late as a woman, but like, I think men have more like freedom in Turkey, I can say, in like in the middle parts, especially, not in Izmir that much, but in like maybe Istanbul, I can say, or Ankara, like bigger cities, I can say crime rates increase. More people, more immigrants.
Is the threat of like just like kind of crazy people doing bad things, is it like no?
Not like that. We don't have that much like crazy homeless people.
Is it like organized crime?
No, it's like pickpocketing, kidnapping, like those kind of stuff.
Okay, so it's like I hear you, it's like bribes, like people are trying to extort. That's the term. Yeah, like kidnap and then give it back
kids,
for money.
Women.
For money or for trafficking?
I'm not even sure.
Not
like
sure?
They can do really like bad, insane stuff.
Yeah.
Like.
Okay. So just watch out for the kidnappers.
Yeah.
Got it. That's another problem in Mexico too.
Yeah.
Mexico has some serious. I know that. I don't know if it's as bad now. I'm sure they have other issues now, but definitely in the 90s, like kidnapping was a huge problem for Mexico. And it's not like some people kidnap and they do things like human trafficking wise, but for them it was like extortion. It was take the rich family's kid and then ask them for money, and when they give us the money, we give the kid back kind of deal. You know what I mean? So how is wealth viewed in Turkey? Like how is, like here obviously there's arguments of, you know, ultra rich people, how do you get rich? Can everyone get rich? We would like to think in Canada that it's very possible for you to start at the bottom and then work your way. If you work hard enough, you can become successful. In Turkey, is it the same thing? Do you have to be born to the right family? Do you have, like, what are the situations there for being successful?
Unfortunately, I can say that you need to born in a specific family to become like that rich in Turkey, especially. Like I can say in Canada or US, if you work hard enough, you can literally come anywhere you want. But in Turkey, like there are a lot of people putting others in front of you just because they know someone else or they just had money. Like it's not that fair. It's not good, but that's the case most of the time.
When you say they know someone else, like how would you be someone
in charge? Like
in charge? How would you be someone who knew that person? Because like in Canada, we would say, like sometimes people are give favors, but you just have to network. Is it not the case in Turkey? Is it like it's not about networking? It's more than that?
It's more about politics in Turkey. Like I don't have that much knowledge about politics and stuff, but I can say it's more, if you're politically in one side, you can rise like faster or like get in front of a lot of other people who are actually better than you.
Interesting. That's tough. That's you got to worry about that. I know that there's talk, because once again, my dad's Mexican, my mom's Canadian, I'm born in Canada, but corruption I don't think is something that only takes place within the poor countries, maybe even less so, because people, when they'll talk about Mexico, will say, very corrupt. You can buy out the police, for example, like the cartel is a better employer than the government, so why would you want to be a good guy? Everyone's going to want to work for the cartel because you make more money. But it's easier to take advantage of the corruption in Mexico than it would be in Canada. So I think in Canada there is still corruption, but only for like like you said, the political elite or like the ultra wealthy.
Yeah.
Whereas in Mexico, it's like you get caught for speeding, you pay the guy $50 and you go home. It's fine. So that's like low level corruption, but everyone can at least kind of access it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Tell me more about your experience with German, because I know that you were teaching German for a bit. How did you get into that?
Okay, it was too much work for me. Like I worked so hard during the high school years.
Yeah.
I was going to Goethe Institute after like school, and that's how I learned, like improved my German. Yeah. And then there is a certificate C2. You know, there's like A1, A2. Like C2 is a teaching certificate for German, so you need to take that to be able to give classes and teach like people. Yeah. So I took that on 11th grade, I think, and then I started volunteering back in Izmir. Like I was doing a volunteer work for charity. It was called Echel. It's for like poor children, like from underprivileged neighborhoods who has no access to like language learning or like study help. So I helped them learning like a new language. Like I also helped them learning a little bit like English, but it was more German. It was 450 students. Yeah. I was volunteering to teach them German.
Wow.
Yeah, my high school years were so like hectic.
Yeah,
I was so busy.
It sounds like
it. And then here, I also worked as a German tutor for 2 years. I started my first year. It was in Friedrich Schiller Schule in Mississauga. Yeah. I was doing like online teaching. I had, I think, 4 students. I was doing online Zoom like German sessions with them. One of them was preparing for the, again, language certificate. So I helped her get that. Yeah, that was so like fulfilling for me, because like you see the children and in their eyes, like they're looking at you, they're like so grateful that you're doing that for them. So yeah, it was a really satisfying like experience for me.
How did that kind of change you? Like what were you like kind of before that? I'd have to assume you gained a bit of like leadership experience and skills, and maybe saw your responsibility in the world a different way. Like I'm no longer the student, I can also teach as well. Like how did that change you?
I think responsibility, that's the most important part. I gained a lot of responsibility and time management also, because I have schoolwork, I was working, and you need to have your time for yourself as well. So it was a little bit hard at the beginning, but I get used to it with time. Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to keep asking you about that. We're going to take a break for the cameras, 5 minutes, and then we'll get back into it. Back at it, ladies and gentlemen. Quick 5-minute break there, talking about how awesome Turkey is.
Yeah.
and German. That's where we were at before we took a pause. When did you learn English? Maybe I'll ask that.
Oh, that's a good question. I learned 5 months before applying here.
Really?
Yeah, I learned in 5 months.
In 5 months?
In 5 months.
That's insane.
I had zero knowledge. Like, I couldn't even speak English. My brother was making fun of me because he could speak English and I couldn't.
Wow.
And then I just learned.
That's crazy. That's got to be a new record. But
yeah.
So you learn English in 5 months. You come here. This is why I want to ask you about responsibility, because being, responsible for teaching 450 kids a new language, teaching them German, that's got to be like a huge weight on your shoulders. But also picking up a new language in 5 months, moving countries, coming here, and now, like, I'd have to assume it's just you, right? Like, none of your family came here with you.
No, I have no one here.
Okay, exactly. So you're now, once again, responsible for meeting people, going to your classes, making sure you're learning, and it's not like you can make the excuse. Have you ever told a teacher, like, I am struggling with English, like I don't know what to do here?
No. In first semester, a little bit, because I just come here with the learn English, not the, like, I had zero like conversation skills, but I was not caring about my accent. I was just going there. People were asking like, "Are you French?" I'm like, "No, I just had the accent."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it does sound a little bit French.
Yeah, and my name also. A lot of people
Melis.
like told me Melis, like it's like a French name, but it's not.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so walk me through that. You speak. You kind of force yourself to get used to it. What helped you most, like, get comfortable with English? Is it just talking to people? Is it watching TV like a lot of people do?
Oh no, I can't watch TV that long. Like,
no?
I can't like focus that long. Like, I'm not a TV watch like person.
Okay.
I love talking to people, yeah, of course, like making new friends. It was never hard for me. Like 30 seconds, I'll make like new friends.
Nice.
Because like I don't care. Like this is how I speak, and I'm just gonna speak. So I think people like the attitude. So I just like build a friend group, and then I also love meeting new people like every day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And talking.
Are you an extrovert? I would assume, obviously.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is like, has to be some sort of motivation, because there are introverts out there who have fluent English and struggle a lot more to make friends than you would.
Yeah.
Which is crazy that there's no, like, the language doesn't really stop you from doing that. But okay, so as a first year, when you were here, like, you're telling me no struggle at all. Like, you're not when you call your mom later at night, you're not like, this is so hard. I don't want to do this. This is like, I can't.
I really enjoyed my first year. It was like so adventurous.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you're here for the first time, a new city, like a bunch of new people, new language. Like, it was so like new and exciting for me. But second year was a little bit harder, like personally. I mean, like family-based, lots of going on, and I moved to an apartment with like two of my friends, and managing the apartment was like a lot harder than managing the residence room. Like, first year was in residence, and then I moved. It was a little bit like hard, and I need to like walk 20 minutes. Like, commuting was hard.
Yeah. So you tell me in Turkey you can't be out too late at night. When you were here, did you go out with friends at night? Was it like, it's okay, Canada's safer? Did your mom be like, you better still be back in time, we're tracking your phone?
No, she's not like that. She's not tracking me or anything. We're just giving information about each other just because we love to do that. And she's like, go have fun, like do anything you want. I'm just not like a party person. Like, I stayed up like so late, but it was not that often. Maybe once a month.
Okay.
Like that.
Nice.
I enjoy daytime more than the nights. Yeah, but I have late nights, like finishing at 9 p.m. sometimes. It's fine. I mean, it's campus, so it's safe.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. So in your off time at UofT, perhaps you could tell me more about what you do your off time in the summers in Turkey. But in UofT, what do you do when you're not studying, when you're not on VoV podcast?
I love doing yoga and Pilates. I was doing like reformer back at home, but
what is that, sorry?
It's like a type of Pilates. It's like doing with the machine. Okay. But right now I couldn't find any close place to go, and I'm just doing mat Pilates right now with like yoga, and I'm like interested in getting the yoga training, like instructor training, so I can be a yoga instructor.
You're teaching German and yoga, English eventually, everything. Wow, nice.
I'm just trying to get into it. Right now I'm just doing by myself, but there's a training coming up in October. Maybe I'll just sign up. Yeah. Awesome. I'm just saving for that.
Very cool. Now. Very cool. What is that, like your new fitness thing? Is it yoga? Because maybe you're less, invested into swimming now. You crushed it when you were younger, but now you're like, let me try something new.
Yeah, I'm doing it like for 6 months now, 7 months. Yeah, and I also start running during the summer, and I really enjoyed it.
Do you know who this is?
What is that? No matter what. Yeah, I'm actually gonna run the marathon,
Yeah.
like Toronto Marathon in
October.
October 19th.
I will see you there.
Oh my God!
19th.
Really? 19th.
Oh, I'm on the 20th.
Oh. Okay.
Next day.
Yeah.
Oh, well, good luck though.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not that like fast, but middle
fine.
pace, I'm good.
Do you like run? Do you train, or are you just gonna like try to to do
I'm
the race?
training. Like in summer, I was running outside because like it was so hot, and then you can just go to swimming after just your run. But right now here in Toronto, it's kind of like hard to run.
Yeah.
I don't know that much the city, so I'm just using the treadmill.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the treadmill's tough. I literally just go around Queen's Park. I just do the lap there.
Queen's Park, fine.
Yeah, because I can't run. I don't like running in the city. I don't like stopping at the street
same.
lights and all that like nonsense.
I need nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Like, would you run on the coastline in Turkey?
Yeah.
You
like
do that?
in front of my, it's a beach house in Çeşme. We live in that area, and I'm like making this loop.
Nice.
Like in the street, I start in front of my home. I'm going to my grandparents' home, and then just making a loop.
How far is your grandparents from your place?
It's not that far. Maybe 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, and then just doing it for like 5 kilometers each day. That's it. I can't do more than 5 kilometers actually.
Yeah, that's fair. But that's sweet. That's another family thing.
Yeah,
Even
right?
the grandparents are close. It's crazy.
My grandma is like waving at me. She said like, "Come here to breakfast." I'm like, "Grandma, I'm just running."
That's awesome. Yeah, no, my grandparents are like an hour and a half drive away.
Yeah.
And then those are the Canadian grandparents, and my Mexican grandparents are like a 6-hour flight away, but that doesn't really count. But no, that's crazy. Anyways, back to living in Turkey. So over the summer, you say when you're in the summer, it's great. Once you graduate UofT, which you're just doing like the 4 years, is that right?
No, it's my 3rd year. I just started my 3rd year.
Just started your 3rd year, right? So you have 1 more year after this one.
Actually, I'm not sure about that because I took a lot of extra credits, like 6 per semester, and then I did summer school after my 1st year.
Yeah.
So maybe a semester earlier.
Nice.
Like that.
Awesome. That's huge. Okay. So you're going to go back to Turkey. Do you plan on living in Turkey for at least the foreseeable future?
I mean, I'm not like planning that ahead, but for sure I want to go back to my place, like my hometown, and live there because like that's home. Yeah. But I don't know about masters. Like we'll see. It's just I'm just going step by step. It feels like better for me. Yeah. 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 Otherwise, it's like just too much overwhelming. Yeah. I don't like that.
Yeah. You don't need to be thinking too far into the future because, like, if you're looking down this way and you decide to make like one change in your path, then none of that even mattered. You know what I mean? So it's just about kind of one step at a time, and yeah. So another thing that I find we could talk about is positive psychology.
Oh yeah.
I'm taking that next semester, like the
Me
course.
Too.
Oh yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
Perfect. So there we go.
Yeah.
And when I was looking at the course list, I was not going to take positive psychology because I was like, positive psychology, I'm not going to learn anything. I'm the happiest man alive. I already have all the positive psychology I need. You know what I mean? Yeah. But then I said to my dad, I was like, what do you think about positive psychology? And word for word, he was like the same thing as me. He was like, what do you mean? I don't need positive psychology. I'm the happiest man alive. Yeah. I'm like, absolutely. What do you think is important to, I guess, staying positive, keeping a good mood? Because a lot of people, another thing, compare Canada to Turkey. Is mental health bad in Turkey? Like, are people depressed? Because it seems like, especially young people in Canada, are more like have more mental health issues than a lot of other countries.
Oh my God, I like that question. Yeah, it's like my favorite area to talk. I think in Turkey, it depends because I think we have like a better community as a family. I'm gonna just say family again, but family plays a huge part, I think, because you're feeling like belong to a little community, and then you can feel safe to belong another big community.
Right.
First, you need to belong to a smaller one to be able to like improve it.
Yeah.
And maybe build your like friend group after that, after gaining your confidence.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think in Turkey, a lot of teenagers are facing some mental health issues, but I don't think they're that aware of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
But I think they have sources that they can like take help.
What do you mean they're not aware of it?
I mean, for example, there are a lot of like people who are not fitting in school, but just not doing anything about it, or not like talking, just like staying shy about the problems.
Yeah.
I think people should be more like open, or realize, oh, I think I have a problem and I need to solve it. But I think age is a big factor here.
Yeah.
That comes with age. You're realizing, oh, there's a problem in my life and I need to solve it, so I need to take action. That mindset came like later to me.
Okay.
So I can say asking help is also a step.
Yeah.
So you need to improve yourself to that step first.
Yeah.
So I think for me, like finding what helps me, like that happened here, not in Turkey, I can say.
Got it. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. And is it different amongst, like, let's say the girls and the guys? Because I know for us as guys, it's like, you have mental health, it's like, get on with it, deal with it. Like, I just settle.
Don't cry.
Yeah,
you're a boy.
that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
In Turkey, that's a lot, I think.
Yeah.
Men can't express their feelings. Like, they can't even cry because they're like men.
I know that sounds bad.
Yeah.
But I actually think that's not. I think that's a good thing. I know it sounds bad, but you have to understand in Canada.
They need to find the balance.
The balance, right? Because in Canada, we're encouraging men just cry all the time, and everyone here looks like babies.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's bad.
That's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not about necessarily like, just find someone to talk to. This is why families, once again, so important. Like, if you need to kind of express some sadness, that's why you have a mother. That's why you have a sibling. You know what I mean?
And they have more experience than you. Probably they experience what you're struggling right now before.
Exactly.
So they can give you advice, and you can use that advice. Like, you don't have to suffer because of a problem, because your mom experienced it before, and she's telling you, if you do that way, you're not gonna suffer that much. Why would you choose to suffer if you can just take the advice? Absolutely.
Yeah. The smartest people are able to kind of take in like the elders' advice before needing to go and make the same mistakes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which is hard to do sometimes, especially like it feels like we can only learn the hard way. Once you get like hit like really hard, you're like, okay, I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah, I changed myself about that, because I was like, I can do it. Like, I'm just going to go and find my way. And right now, as a 19-year-old, like, young woman, I can say that right now, if my mom tells me something, I will, like, listen so carefully and be like, Mom, please tell me more. Like, please.
Because as you age, you realize how many things that they're right about. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, oh, this is what my dad was talking about. Oh, this is what my dad was talking about. Oh, this is what my mom was talking about. They're just right all the time. And it just takes you, once you realize that a few times, you're like, okay, let me go to them. They can basically see the future. And
they're the only people in this world that wants the best for you. Like,
absolutely.
There's no other people. Like, your friend, your best friend, okay, she or like he can be your best friend, but they can't support you the way your parents support you and be there for you. So I think family comes first.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's another thing that is a problem here. Like, it's because family is so fractured. Look at this. We're coming full circle. Yeah. We started the episode with family. Now we're talking about positive psychology, and it comes back to family. You
asked me about happiness as well.
Yeah, we'll get back to that. Yeah. I mean, we're not going to stray too far away, but we started on, we were talking about here in Canada, the family unit is being like shattered, it seems. Yeah. And it's like, oh, what a coincidence. Now mental health is bad. You need to have that unit, because now what's happening is we're advocating for the teachers, like the school teachers, to have more power over the kids than the parents do for some things. Like, I don't think they have this issue in Turkey, but if a boy wants to say, instead of his name being Christopher, his name is Melis, or his name is Sarah, the teacher can call him Sarah and not tell the parents.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's going on here? Why are we giving the teachers more power over the kids? It's supposed to start with, like you said, that small community of mom, dad, children. So going back full circle anyways, tell me more about the positive psychology.
Yeah, that's my favorite area. Okay. I do believe that happiness is not a goal or like an achievement that you need to reach, or like, that's my goal, I'm gonna achieve this. It's the whole journey. You need to put daily effort. Like, a lot of people are asking me, you seem like you don't care anything. You seem like optimistic, happy all the time. Okay, but I'm putting daily effort to do that, to like contain that peace, that stability, that happiness. Happiness is mindset, I think. You can't just say like, I want to be happy. It's not going to happen by night. You need to do like something. It can be something small for yourself each day, like even 10 minutes. Like, if you want to like sing, just sing. If you want to read book. Find something that makes you yourself more. And then when you start to realize, oh my God, I'm actually good with myself, like I'm enjoying my own company, and then other things just doesn't matter that much, because nothing is that deep. I think so.
Nothing is that deep. What do you mean nothing is that deep? I mean,
life is so short. Like, if you love someone, just go tell them I love you, because you don't know when you're gonna see them again. Maybe that's the last time you're gonna see them in your life. That, like, if you get rejected, what's gonna happen? Like, get rejected, what's gonna happen? Like, the worst thing, you know? People are like, oh, I can't go and do that. Just do it. Like, who cares? Like, people, if they're like saying, oh, judging you or giving bad comments to you, like, who are they? Like, are they even gonna matter to you after 5 years? Like, I don't think so. So
absolutely.
I think you should put yourself first, and then you're gonna be able to care for others too. Like, I think that's the problem. People don't have like enough self love or awareness or even self-respect, and then they can't build like healthy relationship with like other people. You
can't pour out of an empty cup, you know what I mean? You have to take care of yourself first. It's important, and then you have to give extra on top of that.
And you can make mistakes, that's fine too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can change your mind, you can get bored. Yeah.
Are you saying the play is to just go up to a girl on the street and say I love you? Like, first time meeting?
No, not that. That's not it.
You
like,
sure?
For example, like, no, like, oh, I love you, but I'm not telling you that. Like, if you love your father, your brother, like, just go tell them. Like, you're just gonna make their day, and you never know who, like, that person, you're gonna see them again. Like,
100%.
Your friend, just say them.
100%. I think that where I get my happiness from, and same with my dad, is that we have it so well relative to so many people. And like, it's not like our lives are crazy. Like, we have it, like, we're a pretty normal family, and we're not crazy rich. We're none of these things. It's just about seeing that there is like huge suffering happening in the world all the time. So as long as you're not like in a war zone, so as long as your parents are alive, there's people yesterday who their parents got in a car crash.
Right.
You're doing fine. I'm happy.
You're good.
Life's good.
Like, I don't think it's a good idea to think, oh, what other people are gonna think about me if I do this, if I do that. Like, let them think, let them lose you. Like, people, if they are accepting to lose you and they're acting in that way, so they can lose you, let them lose you. Like, just let everyone, if they're making plans and not inviting you, like, let them do that. Like, if someone wants to like leave from your life, let them. Just let them go. I think letting things go is the best self-love, I think. I
like that. Gratitude is important. You know what it is? It's about being grateful. When I see a guy who's telling me how sad he is because he got a 70 on his midterm, I'm like, dude, go to Sick Kids Hospital down the street in Toronto and tell the kid who just got a cancer diagnosis how sad you are. So, and if you can get that kid to feel bad for you, then you can be sad. That's fine. People need to grow up.
Yeah. And I'm feeling like people like who are talking behind you, like, or I'm going to phrase it that way. People are only going to talk about other people the way they feel about themselves. I think that's so important.
That's completely true.
If I hear someone talking bad about other person who is not in the room, I'm just looking at them, I'm feeling really sad about them, the person who is talking bad. Because I'm like, why? I think you're so much in pain right now, and I can feel it. Like, otherwise a happy person wouldn't even care to talk bad about someone else, like from their back. I'm feeling like I think you need help. Like, I'm not telling them this.
No, it's true.
I'm just thinking like, I think there's something wrong with you going on right now. I think you should work on yourself. Like,
it's self accountability. Right. Is the most important thing. Like, I never. It's just like all the time. Anytime anything bad is happening in my life, even if someone effed me over, like let's say I technically wasn't in the wrong, I'm gonna try to figure out how could I have prevented this. Because I can't control what other people do. You can't control what other people think.
If you can't control, don't worry about it. Don't worry about something you can't control. Just focus what you can control.
Yeah, absolutely. What is the main thing that you think people are lacking when it comes to achieving that happiness? For me, I think you answered it already, actually, was about people seeing happiness as this goal of like, I need to reach happiness. But it's like, you need to live a life where your process is happy.
I think jealousy. Because people are seeing other people who achieve this. I mean, I'm not going to phrase it as achieving, but who succeeds to become happy in their own skin, in their own mentality. I think an insecure person sees that, and like even their existence bother them. It tricks them because it reminds them something they don't have. Maybe they want to have this state of mind, but they can't. So they're automatically like not liking that person that much, and that brings jealousy. I think that's the whole circle.
Yeah. When did your mindset shift to this?
It took a lot of work. Inner work.
Tell me about it. Like, what'd you have to do? Because there are definitely people listening. They're like, I want to think like Melis thinks. Please teach me.
I'm not like saying I'm the best. This is just how it works for me. Like, I think experience played a huge part, and also like I found like peace in what I'm doing. Like, it can be small tasks. Like, I found that yoga makes me happy, so I'm just doing this just for myself. It's for example, it's only 1 hour, but that hour is only for myself. I'm just focusing on my mentality, just not thinking about anything else. And like, I'm gonna say it again, talking to my mom, like she was saying when I was a child, I remember so vividly, she was like, no matter what you do, if you fall down, get up, like, I'm gonna love you unconditionally. And I think that's so simple, like this sentence, so simple, but it's like in my memory that reminds me every time I feel the struggle, like my mom is gonna be there, like who else I'm gonna need, you know? Other people's actions is not bothering me anymore, because I'm in a state that I'm detached from other people's actions, their behaviors, their insecurities, because I'm only responsible about my behaviors. If I'm not hurting anyone, I'm not gonna let any person's thoughts, behaviors hurt me. I'm just responsible of my own happiness, not theirs. So I'm doing this. If you're unhappy about that, that's your thing to figure out.
100%. And like what I hear from people oftentimes, like, because I have the same thing, maybe we take it for granted. Maybe there are people out there who are not so happy and they speak bad about other people because maybe they don't have a mother who loves them unconditionally. And the thing is, I still think self-accountability is the answer. Like, you can't do anything about it if you're just going to say, my parents didn't love me the way that I wanted them to, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, what are you going to do about it?
Grow up.
Yeah.
If they did something wrong, accept it. Every parent do something wrong. Like, even mine, like, they made mistakes, but if you're an adult, you're going to just accept what happened in the past. And if you're living in the past, you can't move forward. Just accept the past and then say, okay, this happened, but I'm this person now, so if I want to change this, I need to change some stuff. I don't want to live in that state, so I need to do something. Like, I started taking more psychology. I started as literature student, and then I realized in my life, like, I want to do better. I can do better. I can reach my potential, and I switched my program. Like, that's the thing I did for myself. People can do that in other ways. Like, the point is, like, deciding the change. I want to decide, like, change something in my life. That's the point. That's
awesome. I did want to ask you about a quote that you wrote down on this form here, and it was, being a nice person isn't necessarily the same thing as being a good person. What did you mean by that?
I don't think you should be a nice person like all the time, because if you're a nice person, that means, for example, everyone's saying, oh, Melis is a nice person. That means you're doing something for them to say, oh, she's a nice person. Everyone can't say the same thing to you. Like, some people should not like you, because otherwise you're sacrificing from yourself to make other people happy. But I think being a good person is enough. Just be a good person. Don't hurt anyone. Don't, like, hurt their feelings. Don't, like, talk bad about them. Don't do anything to harm anyone, and then you're good. You don't have to try so hard to be nice. Like, you don't have to make everyone so, like, satisfied, happy all the time. Just you do you. People will either like it or not. You're good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's also a difference between, like, going after someone specifically and directly and being like, John is an asshole and calling him out, versus saying, like, let's say I have a problem with people who act like this, and you're not necessarily calling them out because I completely agree with you. Like, don't like go after people and don't insult people for no reason, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like a lot of what's happening here with young people in my generation and our generation is, I will say an opinion, right? Because this is like, I don't know what episode this is going to be. It's a 70 something, but I've talked a lot on here, and sometimes I'll say something and people will be upset by it, and they'll be like, you're a bad person because you said something that upset me. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. I have opinions. I just say things. If you get upset by them, I wasn't trying to upset you. It's just what I think. So that's another issue that people have. It's gotten to a point where people are so concerned with not upsetting anybody that you can barely even speak. People pleasers.
That's bad.
So
if you're pleasing everyone, so you're losing yourself. Yourself, like, character. What Melis wants, like, okay, she wants this, he wants this, but what I want, like, is this making me happy? Like, I'm making them happy. Okay, that's a good thing. But all the time, is this making me happy? Like, we should also ask that to ourselves sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, when there's that camera, just had it almost. I'm going to put in the extra battery. And then we can wrap up.
Okay?
Sure. All right. Melis, thank you for coming on the podcast. I appreciate it. Do you have any final thoughts that you want to share with the people? Any last words that you'd like to give?
I think as long as their intentions are pure and, like, their heart is open, I think they'll be fine. They shouldn't worry about the rest that much.
Absolutely, just try to be a good person. And something that I've been living by recently is, you need to live for others, not in the sense of being a people pleaser, but in the sense of, once again, making sure that your cup is full and being able to take care of loved ones and be there for your family and friends and your community. Starting small, when you build that strong, then you can kind of expand and go bigger from there.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So that's that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you doing this. I hope you have a great third year.
Thank you.
And we'll see. I'll have to go check out Turkey. They seem to be doing things right there. And I'll let you know if I'm around.
Thanks.
Everybody, Have a good week.
Yeah.
See you next Sunday. Peace out.